Okay, I have to say, at this point, this might be the greatest time ever to actually make a webcomic and start putting it online. I recently thought back to, at this point, about 6 years ago when I first started creating webcomics on my own. And honestly, I first started working on webcomics almost 10 years ago. So yeah, it would have been about 2012. There were only, as far as I knew, Tapas and Manga Magazine, which later became Ink Blazers, which no longer exists, by the way. Outside of that, there was just webcomic hosting sites like Smack Jeeves and whatnot, or Comic Jeeves, whatever. There weren't many avenues to make a webcomic, or at least a whole bunch of different places to put them like there are today. Even making a webcomic, making a website for your comic is easier with the amount of like hosting websites and almost easy to make websites, like all these Wix sites and what's the other one that's really big right now? Squarespace makes it like very simple to like make a website and whatnot, and to be able to like embed stuff onto the site, or like blogs and whatnot up there if you're just gonna upload your comic in that format. Like, and then if you want to go through the WordPress route to upload your comics on, I'm starting to get into more complicated stuff, but it's like you don't even need to go that far. What's so crazy is you could almost make a webcomic on just regular, almost printing paper with like a black pen, or even a pencil rather, and scan it in and just upload it to like Tapas or Webtoon, or just start uploading it to like Instagram, or finding Facebook groups, or putting it on Twitter, or even DeviantArt. And to some people who still use Tumblr, I'm not sure how much help Tumblr would be in 2021, which is weird. I still upload to my Tumblr, but it's just through Instagram by force of habit. But I'm not sure how many people sees anything that I post up there. But even that's an avenue if you so choose to use it. Like, there's 1,000,001 places to put your webcomic in 2021. It's just a matter of, the biggest hurdle that I think gets in the way of most of us as webcomic creators is actually promoting the comic and putting ourselves out there, as far as letting people know that the comic exists on social media. And I think that's the biggest thing that gets in our way as webcomic creators. I've just recently started to make it a point to promote my comic on social media a lot more frequently. Like, I actually schedule out time every day to sort of go through and make a post, or get on webcomic forums or webcomic groups and just interact with other creators and interact with other people. Just because it's like it's gonna be much harder to grow my webcomic if I'm not letting people know that it actually exists. And the algorithms on these platforms are not necessarily going to work towards your favor. And then on stuff like Webtoon and Tapas, they're not going to promote your comic if you don't have a following, which most people don't. So you're going to have to build the following organically and put in the legwork on your own. But that's just like the hard work and the effort that it's going to take after you actually make your comic and get it out there. Like, essentially, if you have access to, how archaic am I talking right now, where I'm still mentioning like getting a scanner and actually scanning pages and then uploading them to websites and whatnot. So many people are using like tablets and whatnot nowadays. They don't even need pencil and paper, essentially. They're just using the tablet and the stylus, and they're drawing right onto the screen and then going from there and just uploading the webcomic. Like, it's getting crazy out here, people. Like, it's getting very easy to make this stuff and upload it online. Like, it's never been a better time in history to start uploading or creating a webcomic. If you want to do this, don't second guess yourself. Actually, like, get to work now and start trying to get your work out there. Now, that's not to say to like rush your comic or to produce BS. Like, I'm not telling you to do that, but start putting in the effort to actually make it happen and to get that work out there now. Like, just make the comic and start posting it, because I don't know what's I don't know what the future of webcomics is going to look like, but right now it's a great time to make them. It's no harder to build a following today than it was when I first started years ago. The platforms and stuff, and then how they push certain comics and the algorithms and all this other nonsense makes it more difficult, but that's always going to be a problem. That's not going anywhere. And even so, it's still always been somewhat difficult to build a following online anyways. It's going to take some legwork on your part, but that's just a part of the process of just making a comic in general. If you're doing it and it's not like just a side thing that you're doing or a hobby. But I think it really comes down to, at this point, where do you want to put your work? Which the honest answer that I would give you is damn near everywhere. But you have choices, you have options. Where do you want to put your comic? How do you want to create your comic? What type of audience are you looking for? And then, like, there are so many options and so many choices as to where you can put your stuff and what you can necessarily do with it, and you can have more control. You don't have to worry about somebody else handling the promotion, somebody else telling you what you should do or how you should do this, that, or the other. Like, you have total control over your work. Like, this is almost a golden age of art if you choose to look at it that way. So basically, in all this babbling and whatnot that I'm ranting about right now, my point is, if you're thinking about making a webcomic, do it now, because this is probably one of the best times to do so.